Good morning. It kind of looks like we got everything going. Hopefully, I gave enough time to get the beeps out of the thing, but if not, you might have a beep when it start up. Anyway, so this movie we're talking about is a Dan Aykroyd film. It's one of his early ones. It came out in 1993. It's called Coneheads. It's a science fiction comedy. I'm going to call it an adventure. They didn't, but I am. So Dan Aykroyd and his wife, well, the coneheads, they crashed coming from Romulus. Yeah, Romulus. Anyway, they came from another planet. It's a UFO movie. They basically making fun of UFOs, but he crashed in America airspace. The National Guard flight sees him. They crash into, what do they call it? The Atlantic Ocean. Looked like just right outside of the state, just deep enough to put the ship underwater. So they have to gather their equipment and communication gear, and they float to the surface, and they've got cone heads that would fit above, cone heads. You should have saw their heads on the poster. And they did a pretty good job of getting their makeup and all that stuff worked together. This they crashed. They had to assimilate, so they went and found money from a machine because they used their cone to electrify the Coke machine to pay for the room the first night they were there. Then they paid for food, which they ate differently. They ate different things. They showed them sucking up toilet paper in there. Aliens do weird things, so they're trying to make fun of the UFOs community. Pretty good and interesting movie. It was funny, that's for sure. And then later on in the film, he gets a job doing appliance repair because he's good at electronics, and apparently the stuff on Earth at the time they made the movie was outdated from what they had where it came from. So it makes sense he'd be good at repairing TVs and radios and blenders, toasters, all that fun stuff. Then he's asked for a social security number, and he keeps making up one. It really didn't turn out to be anything close to a social security number. So he gets to be Chico. He gets a social security number bought and paid for because his current employer gave him a social security number, helped him get a social security number so he didn't have to pay taxes on it. And so he could pay taxes. They lived at the back of the repair shop. Then further on in the movie, his mate, soulmate, whatever it is they called her. I'm going to call her the wife. And that was played by, I just saw it. Hey, Jesus Christ. It changed pages. And Jane Colton. Curtin? Oh, well. I can't say that right. I'm butchering English again. Anyway, so he becomes a taxi driver, so she's pregnant, and she's having, what do they call them? Spasms, birth spasms. They changed the name of, pregnancy stuff. And this one turned out to be pretty good. And then when her water broke, it really broke, flooded the whole basement floor, about 4 inches of water. They get into the thing, and the hospital, damn, the thing, yeah, that would work real good. Get into the thing, have a baby. Have a baby in the hospital, and it comes out in one big shot. And when Dan Aykroyd's asked to cut the cord, he just bites it. He gets his teeth fixed because they were all pointy, sharp, snaggly looking things, like, wore out, so they're all flat and square. They look like everybody else. He's trying to blend in. Plays golf on Sundays, being chased by the immigration department, which is kind of funny. They didn't know how far of an illegal alien he really was. They just wanted to catch the, fifth or sixth, the Chico person, using that name, alias, because apparently the Chico died somewhere before he even got a hold of it. And this was actually kind of funny. I mean, it's really a interesting show. Keeps you twists and turns, and they get their daughter. They show the daughter growing up 16 years. They get all kinds of memories, and she's old enough to start dating, and the dad doesn't like. Well, of course, dad doesn't like the guy that she picks to date. So he threatens and does all this, and then before they go to their senior prom, after years and years of sending a distress signal saying they're crashed on Earth, they go ahead and um, come and rescue them, and then they pick them up. They're trying to get away, so they send the boyfriend and somebody else in the car with their helmets on, or in the motorcycle they were riding around. At that point, he's a driver trainer, one of those cars with steering wheels on both sides, which is kind of funny, and my nose is itching. I don't know why. But it makes it interesting. Then my glasses are reflecting that damn light. I didn't get it high enough, apparently. I guess I'll have to change the angle on it and put it up to the roof. And make it rain down on me instead of, almost above the camera. Anyway, so they get rescued. They haul the car off because they couldn't get out of the cul-de-sac because the police, the FBI, and Homeland Security and everybody's got them surrounded. Then they suck them off. The two agents that were trying to deport him ended up going away, so he couldn't get because he definitely wanted to get his man. So they ended up going all the way back to their channel, their planet. And when he gets back, he has to bring stuff to the ruler of the place. So he gives him a tire iron and a bunch of other things, plus the two humans. And they found out that he changed his teeth, so apparently that was a sin on the planet. So he had to pay the price by Narfling the Garthunk. Funny thing. Big ugly creature with 4 legs, long teeth, and fangs. And the 4 guys before him got eaten by the Garthunk, and the crowd's going nuts, like an old hanging crowd. But it turned out to be a pretty interesting situation they put themselves in, so that's why I call it an adventure. And then he's successful in Narthling the Garthunk because he uses a rock and the stick they gave him and a little bit of cloth off of his wrist, and made himself a golf club because it was big on golf in the earth. And then he starts singing a song, and when the Garthunk came to get him, he swings the club and knocks the rock down the creature's throat, and creature chokes to death. And then he gets to get whatever he wants, so he's going to invade Earth. And they end up coming back here, and he ends up landing on Earth and taking everybody but one guy back to him. And he takes one of the special agent guys back with him, and they land on Earth. The spaceship takes off with a click of a remote control. He goes click, click. And then the spaceship takes off, gets up into the Earth's atmosphere, blows up. And then, before that, they were setting the stage to say that Earth's defenses were worse than they really are. But the truth is, if aliens decided to attack Earth based on what this movie said, the Earth wouldn't stand a chance. But, that's neither here nor there. So then he bargains for the guy's release so that he can get a green card to stay on the planet. So they give him a green card. And it ends, and everybody lives happily ever after, and then they start showing family reels at the end. Which I kind of thought was interesting, the way they did all that, and the way they wrote this thing. And apparently this is based on a screenplay that skits, coneheads skits from Saturday Night Live. So they made this whole movie off of skits from Saturday Night Lives in the 93. By then I was traveling, so I only got to watch this on VHS. At the time, I quit dating for a while because, there wasn't anybody that would go traveling with me. Really wasn't any good, and the last relationship sucked. She decided to screw up. Anyway, let's get back to the video. It was distributed by Paramount Pictures. This is when they were still doing movies that were actually good. Nowadays, I haven't seen too many movies that are actually good coming out of Paramount Pictures, but, I haven't been watching Paramount Plus either. You shouldn't have to pay for their subscription to be able to watch their movies. Should be able to get them all on DVD like traditionally. Anyway, so they came out in July 23, 1993. It ran 187 minutes. I was going to say 187 minutes, but that'd be not right. 87 minutes. It was made in the United States. It was English. The budget was $30 million, and at the box office, they made $21.3 million. So they lost money on this movie. I don't know why. It was good. I liked it. It was really good. Dan Aykroyd always does a pretty good movie. Maybe it was because of the source material they used to make the movie. But anyway, so parental units, that's what they call them. Parental units, parents. Young ones and parental units. So I got a lot of facts wrong on this one. I guess I should have watched it a little more closely instead of just letting it play because I've seen it too many times. Yeah, my nose itches again. Oh well, we'll get off of here so I can scratch my nose even more thoroughly. Maybe the next one it won't bother me so much. And then we'll talk to you on the next one. Be safe, be good, and we'll talk to you then. Bye now.